Hi friends, it's Mrs. Kirshner, and I'm here to read you all a story. It's called The Best Nest. Can you hear some rhyming words in there? What rhyming words do you hear? Yeah, best nest. Can you think of something else that rhymes with those two words? Best, nest. I came up with vest and rest. So let's see what this book is about. What do you think? Let's look at the cover. What do you think it might be about? See some birds? And they're in a nest, right? So maybe some birds in their nest? Let's find out, okay? It's called The Best Nest, and it's by P.D. Eastman. There are the birds. What do you think they're doing with those straws and sticks and things? Yeah, I think they might be using them to make their nest. Let's find out what they're going to do with them, okay? Mr. Bird was happy. He was so happy he had to sing. This was Mr. Bird's song. I love my house, I love my nest, in all the world my nest is best. But then Mrs. Bird came out of the house, and she said, it is not the best nest. Uh-oh. I am tired of this place, she said. I don't like it. Let's look for a new place right now. Oh my, I wonder where they're going to find a new place to put their nest. So they left the old place and they went to look for a new one. This place looks nice, said Mr. Bird. Let's move in here. See the hole in the tree? You suppose it's empty? Uh-oh, but somebody else had already moved in. So they looked at another house. Well, this one looks nice, and there's nobody in it, said Mr. Bird. Uh-oh. You think that's going to work out? Nope. Look at that. There's somebody's big foot. You're wrong, said Mr. Bird, or Mrs. Bird. This house belongs to a foot. So they went on looking. I like this one, said Mr. Bird. This house has a red flag on the roof. What do you think? You think that's a good place to build a bird nest? I have always wanted a house with a flag, said Mrs. Bird. Maybe this place will be all right. Uh-oh, but it was not all right. I think I made a mistake, said Mr. Bird. You make too many mistakes, said Mrs. Bird. I'm going to pick the next house. And here it is, right here. Ooh, you think this is a good place? Let's see what's inside. What is that thing? Yeah, it's a bell. I don't know. Let's find out if it works out for them, okay? They flew in and they looked around. Isn't it too big, said Mr. Bird. I like a big place, said Mrs. Bird. This is the best place to build our new nest. So they went right to work. They needed lots of things to make a nest. They got some hay, and they got some soda straws and some broom straws, and they got some yarn, and they got some string from a sock, and they got some stuffing, and they got some horse hair, and they got some head hair, and some people hair, and beard hair too. And when they had all the hay and all the straw and all the string and yarn and all the stuffing and all the horse hair and all the people hair they could carry, they took it all back to build their nest. Look at them. They've got a lot of stuff, don't they? Mr. and Mrs. Bird worked very hard. It took them the rest of the morning to finish their nest. This nest is the best, said Mrs. Bird. I want to stay here forever. Mr. Bird was very happy too. He flew to the top of the house and he sang his song. I love our house, I love our nest. In all the world our nest is best. And he was so busy singing he didn't see Mr. Parker coming up the street. Uh-oh. What do you think Mr. Parker's going to do? Let's find out. Every day at 12 o'clock, Mr. Parker came to the church and he would pull the bell. The rope went right up to the nest. Bong, 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 bong. Mrs. Bird got out of there as fast as she could fly. When Mr. Bird came in, he could see what a mess their nest was. And there was horsehair and man hair and string and stuffing and straws. But where was Mrs. Bird? I'll look until I find her, said Mr. Bird. And he looked high and he looked low. He looked everywhere for Mrs. Bird. He even looked down into a chimney, but Mrs. Bird was not there. He looked into a water barrel, but Mrs. Bird was not there either. And he saw a big fat cat with a big fat smile, and there were some feathers near the cat's mouth. Mr. Bird began to cry. Oh no, he cried, this cat has eaten Mrs. Bird. Uh-oh. Mr. Bird flew off. I'll never see Mrs. Bird again, he said. It was starting to get dark, and it began to rain and thunder. Mr. Bird could not see where he was going. Crash! He bounced right into something. I wonder what it is. It was his old house, the old house that he shared with Mrs. Bird, the one that she didn't like. I'll go inside, said Mr. Bird. I'll rest until the rain stops. What do you think's going to be inside? Can you make a guess? If you guessed Mrs. Bird, you were right. Mrs. Bird was in the nest, and she was singing. I love my house, I love my nest. In all the world, my nest is best. You're here, said Mr. Bird. I thought you didn't like this nest. Mrs. Bird smiled. I used to not like it, she said, but a mother bird can change her mind. You see, there's no nest like an old nest for an egg. Look at that. And a brand new bird. When the egg popped open, pop, the new baby bird thought so too. The end. I hope you enjoyed that book. And if you stay tuned, we will have another book coming before too long and some ideas for activities you can do that go with this book. See you later. Bye.